Hello and welcome. My name is Amy Bell, and I am the founder and creative director of United Colors of Design Media. And I am so grateful that you've decided to join us here today as we open a deeper conversation around the energy and psychology of color and how it impacts our designs, art forms, mood, and journey on this planet. My mission is to help creative professionals like yourself thrive as entrepreneurs. And we're doing this by meticulously curating content in the areas of education, business, lifestyle, and design inspiration, supporting you in making quantum leaps in your business and personal life. With United Colors of Design magazine, podcast, and TV as our vehicles. Each quarter, we take a look at one specific color, working our way through the rainbow. And today, our special guest is going to be seeing their area of expertise through the lens of that color. It's my intention today and every day that we really hear one another by speaking a language that connects us all, the language of color. So let's get this conversation started, shall we? Oh, those intros are just so snappy. I just love that music. Gets everyone going. I'm really excited about our conversation today, especially being a creative who throws her heart out into the world every single day with my designs and content and all that stuff. And sometimes if there's a little bit of unworthiness, it'll pop up if someone makes a comment or something like that. So that's what Sam and I were just talking about a few minutes ago. I'm Amy Bell, founder and creative director of United Colors of Design magazine. And today we've got Samantha Timbers, who is the columnist who writes our Colors of Hypnosis column. And she is here today to talk about worthiness, especially in the creative community. So I'm going to read her bio and then we'll bring her right up so she can give us her wisdom and help us get out of that unworthiness mindset. So Samantha is the owner of Simple Wellness. Her passion is to help people move towards and realize their dreams through the use of modern day hypnosis. As a trainer of hypnotherapy and a certified hypnotherapist, she helps women over 40 redesign their lives through her program, Redesign Your Life in 30 Days Without Therapy, Frustration, or Feeling Alone. Over the past 17 years, Samantha has gone through her own transformation and has redesigned her own life and found happiness, and now wishes to impart her wisdom upon others. Yes! That's what I love about you, Sam. Okay, come on up to the live stream.
Hello.
Hi. All right. We do have comments available, so I'm just going to keep this here. Yes, that's right. Facebook user Hypnosis. How you doing, Sam?
I'm doing fantastic. Amy, how are you?
Lovely.
Good.
So, unworthiness.
Unworthiness. Yes. As you mentioned, creatives are putting themselves out there every day.
Yeah,
right?
We are. Yes. And when we were chatting earlier, I was just like, oh, there's my aha moment. Like we do really throw ourselves out there, our artwork, our designs, our paintings, our, interior work that we do, all that stuff is basically us trying to grab someone's vision and get it, like channel it through ourselves and out into the world. And if that vision is not exactly what they think up here, we hear it.
Right.
And then we're like this, damn, Oh, like then it's like you do the sad Charlie Brown walk away, and taking it on as a reflection of ourselves instead of just, let's give it another go. So what do you say about that to all
Well,
these creatives?
I say we were born worthy. Like, really, every single human being was born feeling worthy. When you needed to eat, you would cry and you would get food. When you needed to sleep, you would sleep and you were given things and you felt worthy enough to have them.
Mhm.
And then somewhere along the way, we made a decision that we weren't worthy anymore. And that decision would have maybe come to us from repetition, from hearing from parents, from siblings, from teachers, from peers, things that are not great about us that they would like to point out.
Ex
Maybe, you're not good enough for this, you're not good enough for that. Or you might have asked for something that you didn't get, not because you weren't worthy of getting it, because maybe your parents couldn't afford it. Or maybe that person didn't have room for you to be a friend right now.
Mhm.
And so it really probably had nothing to do with you and who you are or who the creatives are. And often creatives are not in the mainstream.
Yeah.
So we as creatives, like you said, put ourselves out there. And if there's any unworthiness inside, it's going to trigger that. And so if people are feeling like they have to do more for other people, they maybe only feel worthy if they're doing something for somebody else, if
Mhm.
they're needed. We need to be needed. And we maybe will give someone, if you're we were talking about compliments, right? So if someone gives you a compliment, says, "Oh my gosh, Amy, I love your scarves," because I do love your scarves, and you could just throw it off and go, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I just someone gave me a bucket of scarves, so I decided to start wearing them," as opposed to saying, "Yeah, thank you. I love my scarves too." Often, people who can't take a compliment and just say thank you, there's some unworthiness in us. And in the article, I did give a whole list of things that if people, so people would understand, is there some kind of unworthiness there?
Yeah. Well, what's interesting, just when you started speaking about being a child and where does this come from? When when I was little, or when our kids were little and they did a drawing, they were like, "Look what I did." And they were showing it and so happy, and they painted it, and we put it up on the fridges and we put it on the walls and we make them feel awesome. And then you grow up and it's really not, I guess it's a little unconventional for you to go, "Look what I did. Look what I did." Like, it's kind of, people say you're boastful or you're conceited or stuff like that, right? But really, every time I do something, I want to put it on the fridge. Like, I want my client to be so happy that they're like, "This is going on my fridge and I love it." And if I don't get to that point, I feel like I didn't deliver. And then I start to feel like, "Oh, I didn't get on the fridge."
Right.
So, I mean, at some point I have to go, yes, what I did is great, and their level of excitement is just not the same as mine.
Right. That happens. Don't you find that you'll tell someone something and some people will do cartwheels and they'll be so excited. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. And because that's the person they are, right?
Yeah.
I clap constantly when people tell me good things. And then I may tell someone, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to be on the show with Amy today." And they're like, "That's great. Okay, good." And then you're like, "Oh, yeah." But it doesn't have anything to do with us. It's
No,
their reaction. It has
it
nothing
does.
to do with us at
I
all.
know. Well, my man is a pretty level toned kind of guy. So when I say, "Oh my God, you are not going to believe what happens," and he does not meet my level of excitement, I'm like, I get deflated. So then I have to call my friend who is on my level of excitement, and she sends me texts that are like what I was expecting.
Right.
But yes, it
Yes.
has nothing to do with us. It's his nature to just
Right.
be even keeled. And it's, some clients' nature to just not show their excitement in a way that I want them to show it. And in fact, when I do show my excitement, they get a little intimidated about it.
Right.
So,
Well,
anyway,
you and I are also very excitable.
yes, we are.
Yes. Yes. We're very
Yes, we
excitable.
are.
For anything that we do, we're excitable, which is some people are just not as excitable, which is okay.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, someone is testing my ability to say thank you and not say anything else by saying, Amy, your work is amazing. I can't imagine someone not loving your work. Thank you.
Oh, Amy, you just demonstrated working on feeling worthy.
Thank you, Sam.
Again, twice. Amazing. I love it.
And I have since I was reading your article again, and since reading it, well, let's just go into the little presentation here because you're going to talk about the 6 steps to becoming. Okay, you say it because I'm going to butcher it.
Yeah. So the 6 steps going from feeling unworthy to worthy. These are some of the things that you can do on your own that will help you move to feeling worthy.
Okay.
Okay. So step 1, a big part of it is being aware. So the list that I wrote out that people can look at and see if they identify with any of them for feeling unworthy, then we need to just have an awareness. And this isn't an awareness that beats ourselves up because there's no point in that. There's an awareness to say there's a feeling that I have of unworthiness, and would I like to get past that?
Mm-hmm.
Often I say to people, what would it be like if that was, I get people to close their eyes, right? Close their eyes. So whoever's watching, close your eyes
Okay,
and
I'm doing it.
imagine what life would be like if you felt worthy. If you felt worthy of things, if you felt worthy of love, if you felt worthy of compliments, if you felt worthy of everything from like when you were born. And what would that feel like? What are the possibilities?
Mm.
And just in allowing your mind to say, wow, if I felt worthy, maybe I would have seen an opportunity. I would have accepted a friendship. I would have gone on a date if someone's, single, or a variety of things, accepted money. Sometimes people will want to give us things and we say, no, don't worry about it. Or they say, here, you go first. And you're like, no, you go first. No, you go first. It's like, okay, just go first and
Yes,
say thank
yes.
you.
Oh my goodness, I'm so bad with that. And
Right?
what I learned in the last few years about that is especially when someone wants to give you money or a gift or something like that, and you say, "Oh no, that's too expensive," or no, you keep that. Oh no, you are actually stopping that person from expressing their love to you or expressing their happiness or joy to something you've done in the past maybe. So you just sucked their fun out of giving and
Yes.
also stopped the receiving figure eight happening.
So true, Amy. And I just did that yesterday and I had to correct myself.
Mhm.
My beautiful daughter gave me this beautiful scarf, like a warm scarf that she bought with her own money from where she works. And she's, young lady working. I was like, oh, that's too expensive. And she looks at me like, Mom, and she knows all about what I talk about feeling with it. And then I just went, cancel, cancel, cancel. Thank you so much. It'll keep me warm while I go walking. So we have to
Exactly.
remind ourselves all the time, saying thank you and just accepting things. Someone's not going to give it to you more than likely if they don't want to
Yeah,
or if they can't afford it. So just accept. So awareness is a big piece, right? Being aware that there is some feeling of unworthiness.
got it.
Then we're on to step 2. So once you've got the awareness, well, now we're going to look at where did that come from? When did it start? And not to get really deep into the feelings, because this isn't about making ourselves feel bad or blaming people or doing all of that. It's just about, was there a time where I can remember where I felt worthy? Maybe it was when I was 3, maybe it was when I was 4. And
Mhm.
not at the time when I didn't feel worthy, but when was the time I did feel worthy? So when did it start that I started feeling unworthy? And then where does it show up? We just talked about where it shows up. With compliments, for one, it would show up.
Mhm.
Giving someone something you wouldn't give to yourself. So let's say you're on vacation and there's 2 couches and a comfortable bed and you paid for the room. And then you're like, no, I'll take the couch. You guys take the bed. And, yeah, you paid for the room. You probably should have the bed. But Amy, I'm pretty sure that you, knowing Amy, that
Yes,
just
but
happened.
it's just like when you run in the room with a picture and say, look at me, look at me. Like if you run and go, okay, I mean, not that you would say this, but I paid for the room, so I'm taking the bed. Like it's almost like you have to be a little, I don't know what the word is, but you'll be a bitch if you take the bed, or at
Yeah,
least don't offer the bed to the person that you're there with.
right. But if you just walk in and you don't say anything and you just go over and take the bed, you bought the room. But
Yes,
don't go out of your way to say, no, 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 you guys take the bed. Just go over and take the bed. I think everyone would assume the person that paid for the room gets the bed,
exactly.
right?
Okay, got it. Love
Yeah.
that example.
So remember that.
Okay.
Okay, good. And then what? What could life be like without the feeling? As I said in the beginning, if you close your eyes and imagine what would life be without this feeling of unworthy?
Mhm.
People who have removed that feeling have gone on to do amazing things in their life where they never thought they could before.
Okay. All right. So, when did it start? Where does it show up? I think you really need to do a little bit of digging there to find out where it shows up, because it's very subtle sometimes how it shows up in your life. Like not accepting compliments, I feel like it was about being being a good girl. Like you don't want to stand out too much, you don't want to be too loud. You don't want to be that person who's like just the crazy girl who's like, well, thank you, I love it, thank you, I'm so awesome. Like that doesn't
Yes.
fly very well. Nobody likes that person. So we're not creating a society of worthiness when everyone tries to push down that ability to celebrate success.
Right.
Yeah.
When you think about it, though, when you tell someone, when you compliment someone and they say thank you, it's a good feeling, right? If I say I like your scarf, Amy,
Thank you.
see, it's a good feeling for me and it's a good feeling for you.
Yes.
And I actually like you more. Is that possible that I could like you more? But anyways,
Like me more because I just said thank you, or like,
yeah,
yeah,
that you
yeah,
just accepted it, and then it didn't have to be whatever.
a
It's
15
just a
minute
thank you.
conversation about the deal that I just got on it.
Yeah, because then I feel good, and you're not discounting my compliment.
Yes.
You're just saying thank you, and I'm like, wow, that's refreshing.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, we think that people are going to think we're strange if we just accept a compliment, but the person on the receiving end of the compliment
Yeah.
feels good.
Yes. Okay. Step
Okay.
Are we on step 4 now or
We're
step?
on step 4.
Okay.
Because journaling, you can think of a whole bunch of things. You can imagine when it started. You can imagine what life could be like without it in our minds. But pen to paper, really good. And you could type it, but really, pen to paper is very important because it really helps install things. Now, we
Mhm.
don't want to install negative things. So, when I'm talking about going back and finding out when we felt worthy, it's not at the moment that we felt unworthy that we want to write down. It's the moment that we remember feeling worthy. Those are the things that we want to install. And then what can life be like
Mhm.
with feeling worthy? So journaling is really important. Also finding your superpower. And that's what I wrote in the article. So everybody has a superpower. And sometimes, as myself as a coach, I need to dig a little bit with people to find out what their superpower is, because most people say, no, I'm not good at anything.
Mm.
Well,
Really?
yeah,
There goes that, like, don't be too boastful thing, right? Like
right.
you can't celebrate your success. I think if we change it to let's celebrate success, and or celebrate your, I don't know, celebrate your damn self. Like
Yes,
what is it that makes you stand out, or what do people say they love about you?
right. Yes. So if you like, maybe that's that you're a great reader, maybe that's you're a great conversationalist, or you are a great graphic designer, or you love to the creatives, right? All of those things. They're
Mhm.
superpowers in the sense that that's when Superman has his flying or his and I would say the unworthy is our kryptonite, right? That is going to deplete him of his powers.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
everybody has one, every single person.
Oh, can we ask whoever is watching
Oh,
live
yes.
or replay, what's your superpower? Let's celebrate it. Let's bring that up into the conversation because I want people to get in the habit of paying attention to what their superpower is.
Right.
So what is it, people? What's your superpower? What's yours, Sam?
Mine is helping people redesign their life.
Nice.
And looking at the other side, people have said for years that my superpower is that I can usually see the opposite of a like an opposite of an argument. So I can see other vantage points.
Mhm.
I can see your point of view. I could see someone else's point of view.
Got it.
Yeah. What's yours, Amy?
I'm a kick-ass designer.
Yes, you are.
Like, if there's one thing I can do on this planet, it's make things look good.
Yes, you can. I agree. Yeah, awesome.
Yes.
How does that feel to say that?
It feels good. It
Good.
feels good. And it's actually taken me 30 years of doing it to be able to say it. I mean, I kind of, I know that I can do some good work and stuff. And that's how I would play it before. But now I'm like, no way, man, you can't do something for an extended period of time, whether it's a solid year or a solid 30 without saying you're damn good at it.
Right. They do say, experts say it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert. So if you've been doing something for 30 years, Amy, you've exceeded that over and over and over and over again. Not to say how old you are, I'm just saying that when I go through this process with people to find out what their superpower is, to find out how much they're worth, dollar-wise,
Yes.
we go through the amount of hours that people have put into their passion, the
Oh my
amount of
gosh.
hours.
Okay, carry on because I want to get out my calculator.
Yeah, because it's going to be huge. And
Okay.
you just don't even count the amount of years that you've been doing graphic design, but what you've learned, the time and
Yes.
energy that you put into your training and listening to podcasts, even, or learning your colors. Yeah.
62,000 hours.
Wow.
And you said 10.
Yeah, they
10,000.
say 10,000 hours is an expert, right? So you're 62,000. You probably have not added all the things that I would add in. That's all the conversations you've had teaching people about graphic design, your color system, all of the training hours that you put into there, all of your learning hours, because all of that is your knowledge and is your wisdom and is part of graphic design. So I'm going to up that to 100,000 for
Okay.
you, because you usually almost times it by 2.
That's so powerful, Sam.
Yeah. You know
I
how much
think,
that's worth?
pardon?
You know how much that's worth in this world? Not just confidence wise, but money wise. Amy, you're probably
Okay,
not even
people,
charging enough.
if you're watching this, I want you to do the math. And all I did was I took 8 hours a day times 5 hours, or sorry, times 5 days. So I didn't include weekends in that. So yes, we can. And then times that by however many years you've been doing something.
Right. And then almost double that, because if you love what you do it on the weekends, you do it in the evenings, you learn about it, you teach people about it, you have conversations about it. It's impossible to add it all up. But if you could estimate, it's about 100,000. Now, if you look at me in graphic design, I have maybe 2 hours, right? Maybe 3,
Oh,
just
this
because I
is
talk to you. I'm going to say maybe 3 in my life. Even if I up it to 20 hours, okay, fine. We're just going to be ridiculous here and say 20 hours of graphic design time,
yeah.
because I don't do it.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
So
Woo!
if people have difficulty charging more or charging what they are actually worth, they need to come and have a conversation with me, Amy, because I will
Yes,
blow that out of the water.
yes, they do. Yes, they do. Okay.
Because you have 100,000 hours of experience in graphic design,
Mhm.
knowledge.
I think that's gonna go in my marketing now.
I think it needs to. Because you make things very quickly too. Speed.
Yes. Well, and that's the other thing that is a superpower that you get after doing something for an extended period of time is that you learn things quickly. You can pull things off quickly. So when someone says to me, "Can you just whip me up a logo?" Oh, that hits me in the guts, because it took me 30 years to be able to whip that thing up, and you don't have that ability. So when you say whip it up, even if it's like, "Sam, can you whip me up a little hypnosis?" Hello.
Right.
No, I cannot whip you up a hypnosis more than I can whip you up a logo or an entire brand. Like, we have to stop devaluing people's superpowers, and I think this is a very powerful way to do that. So,
Yes.
I'm gonna put that in. I like that.
Yes. Because you can quote whip up a logo with your 100 hours of work. Someone asked me to whip up a logo. I'm going to be, can I have a year and a half? Because I have to go learn how to do it.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
exactly.
Just like if someone asked you for a quantum hypnosis, you'd be like, hey, I'm going to have to go and learn for 3 years or however long to be able to whip that up in an hour for you.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
people devalue this all the time. You have a friend that's a carpenter, or a drywaller,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're like, hey, come over and do this for me for free. And you're like, okay, well, I just spent 20 years, designing, like getting my art and and
Exactly.
my craft. And as creatives, this happens to people all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my
As we
gosh.
know, people devalue, and some of the personalities of the creatives that write for your magazine and also read your magazine, they come from a place of their heart. And
Mhm.
sometimes when we come from a place of our heart, we forget that we got to pay the mortgage and we got to pay this and we got to do that, because we're very giving people. I'm not saying other people aren't giving, but charge what you're worth.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter how long it takes you to do something. You have $100,000 hours. So
Yeah.
please, anybody who would like to have a conversation about how many hours and experts you are, give me a call for a free consultation and I'll blow you out of the water.
Oh my god. Okay. So, yeah, that was a big one. Superpower is a
Yeah,
big one.
superpower.
And then you've got gratitude and what did you learn today? This is prompts for your journal writing.
Yes. So for your journal writing too, like, what are we grateful for? Gratitude, they say, is one of the highest frequencies we can resonate at.
Mhm.
And when you are grateful, you can't be two things at the same time. So if you're grateful, you can't be unhappy at the same time. Like, if you're grateful and you're writing down things that you're grateful for. And years ago, when I was beginning my journey of finding happiness, someone said to me, write down what you're grateful for, about 17, 18, 16 years ago. And I said, you know what? I don't have anything to be
Mm.
grateful for. I really could not think of one thing. And she said to me that you have a notebook that you can write in, and you have a pen, and you have the ability to move your hand, and you have a light to write that so you can see. There you go.
Mm.
And that's how I really began being grateful and realizing every single day, no matter what is happening for me, I can find 5 things that I'm grateful for.
Mhm.
When really I couldn't see it before.
Well, that's a great point, because there are people that could be watching that are in, having some sort of dark night of the soul right now, where they can't even imagine a single thing to be grateful for when your world is falling apart around you. So start with the pen in your hand, start with the book that you're going to write these things in, and start with the eyes that you're seeing it all with. Like, it
Yep.
the level to which you can go is based on the level of your mindset in that moment. And so you have to work with where you're at and then go.
Right. Yes. And just start. It's like making a snowball. What happens with the snowball effect?
Mhm.
You make the snowball, you roll it down the hill, and it gets bigger and bigger, bigger, right?
Mhm.
What we focus on expands.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
exactly.
gratitude is so important.
Got it.
And then learning. Learning. What did you learn today?
Oh, Jesus. I learned how to make a new kind of PowerPoint.
You did.
I did. And I learned that, what else did I learn? That I learned how to get it up on this platform. I learned,
In a lickety spit amount of time, very quick, because you're quick. And why?
there's
Because you have 100,000 hours of experience.
exactly. It's amazing how much, like, if I just think about that, in the time it took me to create this PowerPoint, I learned about 10 things in that moment. And then probably I learned a few more before I sat down.
Right. And for me to even look at making this PowerPoint in a day, I might need a week. For other things, like I said, for other things I can do and figure out someone's worth in 2 minutes.
Yes.
Right? So
Yes.
it's
No,
again, it's
exactly.
superpowers. Yeah.
Yeah. Love it.
All right. Mirror work. We're on to
Oh,
step 5.
I'm very uncomfortable with this one.
Okay. So why, Amy?
Well, I have to correct that because the last hypnosis session that you did, that I attended, which Sam does, offers to the readers of this magazine a free hypnosis session every quarter. So be sure to watch for it in the magazine. But the last one, you had said that we should find something that we love about ourselves. And I have some, body issues. And I have also this creepy feeling of standing in front of the mirror saying, I love that, or I love this. And so you had said something like, you said something that relieved me of the stress of doing it.
Yes, I most likely said, even if it is your baby finger, even if it is your toe, it's something, or even if it's your humor or a personality trait, it doesn't have to be visual.
Mm-hmm.
I know we have the mirror work up there, but it doesn't have to be visual. You need to find something that you love about yourself. A little thing. You love your baby finger, you love your baby toe. You love that you can make people laugh, whatever it is. You love that you make your bed every day. I don't know, something you love about yourself.
There was something else that you said. It was, I am open to the idea of loving
Yes,
this
thank you.
thing.
Yes. So you could say, I am open to the idea of loving my baby finger, or loving my smile, or loving my hair, or loving something about you, so that you're not out and out right away shocking your system and saying, I love that. And then in our minds, it's not congruent.
No.
So, and it's not being authentic, because then our unconscious mind is going, oh, well, that's not true. And then the whole comes in, right? The negative self-talk. So I am open to finding one thing that I love about myself. And if you say that before you go to bed, the interesting thing is that your subconscious works while we sleep.
Mm.
And in the morning, you may be, oh, there is something I love about myself.
Yeah. Okay. So does it have to be with, like, why is this so important? Why do you have to look at yourself in a mirror and do this work? Like, why is the mirror part of it so important?
Well, I think we put the mirror part of it there so you can find something on you and you're looking at you. But I also say, if people don't want to look at, like, some people don't like to look in the mirror. So you can also find something in you, part of your personality, that you love.
Okay. Is
Because
that
we need to,
another conversation altogether? Like, why don't you want to look at yourself in the mirror?
no, not really. Well, then people have their own reasons, but it could be. And through hypnosis, we can knock that out very quickly. Because if we don't love ourselves and just love our full self, it's going to be very difficult to open ourselves up to love from somebody else,
Okay.
or to love somebody else, or
Okay.
to allow other people to love us. So it's important for us to accept and love ourselves,
Got it.
whether that's in the mirror or whether that's just internally saying, hey, these are the things that I love about myself. I love my superpower of this. And you can begin with that, because our ultimate goal is to love our whole self.
Mm-hmm.
And most people do look in the mirror in the morning when they're brushing their teeth or they're putting on their makeup or whatever. And at that time, a lot of the negative talk comes in.
Yes.
Right? Oh my God, where did that wrinkle come from? That wrinkle wasn't here yesterday. Oh my God, how do I get rid of that wrinkle? That wrinkle showed up. That wrinkle showed up. So the mirror partly is to say, okay, first of all, be gentle with yourself. If the first step has to be, I am going to say nothing, because if it's, where did that wrinkle come from? Oh my God, you look terrible, blah, 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 saying all these negative things, The very first step could be, I will be silent when I'm looking
Ah,
in the mirror.
oh.
Okay,
Well, it's
silent.
hard because the silent, like the voice is coming in your head. So, I mean, you have to then become aware that you are listening to that negative voice in your head. And then you have to become conscious enough to say, stop that. And
Stop
whether
it.
it's like start singing a song in your head or,
Yeah,
listen to some music or something that's going to kind of silence that negative self-talk that's going on while you're there.
I often say cancel, cancel, cancel. And that's just canceling it all the way around. So if I say something like, where'd that wrinkle come from? Oh my goodness. Then I'll just be like, cancel, cancel, cancel. I just love myself.
I
It
smiled
takes
a lot. I
practice.
smiled a lot yesterday, and that's where it came from.
That's right. My mom always said, bless her soul, that the more wrinkles you had, the greater your life was
Mhm.
because you had more expression.
Yes.
Whether that's happy, sad, you just had a full life.
I love your mom.
So I always say I have a very full life, which is awesome.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Okay. And
Okay.
then are we ready for the next slide?
I think so. Step 5.
Oh, and as you get more comfortable, you'll just keep adding things until eventually you're just like, I love all of me, everything.
Yes, because there will be a tipping point. There is the negative self-talk will begin to subside because you will be aware of the negative self. We are the hardest people on ourselves
Yeah.
because you would never say to somebody else, where did that wrinkle come from?
Exactly.
Like, I saw you a month ago and now you look 10 years older. What
Can
happened?
you imagine? That would be terrible.
Oh, right. But the person we listen to most
Yes, I know.
all day, because wherever you go, there you are.
Yes.
So who do
I
like,
know, I know, I know.
yeah,
I could it would makes my heart just crumble at the thought of saying to somebody, "Where did you get?" Like I would never say that.
right. And I think it was in the last article that I wrote that I talked about you would never say those things to a child or to a friend or to a stranger on the bus.
Yeah.
Could you imagine saying, you're a horrible person, you're just unworthy. I hate your hair.
Well, again, the unworthy, it's not like, if you're listening to this, it's not like you're walking around saying I'm unworthy. It's like
Right.
it's making the comments about like I must have made 15 comments about my neck, about my my hair isn't doing what I wanted to. Why are my lips looking like this? Like that was just in the time putting on my makeup before we got on this show.
Right. So that's going to stop, Amy. And it's
Yeah,
just,
okay.
if
It's
you
gonna
can't completely turn it around, you're going to silence that voice and you're going to say cancel, cancel, cancel so that you can become aware of what you're saying.
yes, thank you.
Yes.
I learned another thing today.
Look at that.
Another thing from a journal.
There you go. Awesome. Okay. So step number 6 is now reprogramming your mind. Is the way we programmed it in the beginning to feel unworthy was listening to all of those people and then saying it ourselves.
Mhm.
Like we said, the negative self-talk consistently in our heads will trigger more unworthiness. So to reprogram our minds, we can look at things like do things. We look at the list that was in the article about these are some of the ways you might feel if you're unworthy.
Do I have that here? One second. Carry on, carry on. I'll just
Okay, so one of them was like you difficult to take a compliment, or it's hard for you to make decisions, or you care too much about what other people think, or you like you
Is
especially
this
the one about compliments because you can change that pretty quickly.
okay? Is this being overly critical of yourself?
Yes,
Trying to be perfect?
yes,
Lacking boundaries? Not liking who we are, thinking we don't deserve things? Is that the list that
yes.
you're
That's the
talking about?
list. If
Oh my, it's an extensive list, people. So if I didn't touch one that just bit your trigger right there, go see the magazine and
Yes, so there's an extensive list, and if you feel any of those, or I said 3 or more, then you have a feeling unworthiness, and you need to get into awareness.
Mm,
So the way that you can begin, part of that was step 5, beginning, to reprogram your mind about loving something about yourself, and also, so as we said, accepting a compliment. So if someone says, "I love your dress," just say thank you. Like, well, you know what? I got at Bargain Harold's for $5 about 25 years ago, and I just found it at the bottom of my closet. So thanks.
I can't believe you just said Bargain Harold's right there. That's so Canadian, eh? Like, I
And I don't even know where that came from because I can't
don't
even
know where
remember
it came
Bargain
from.
Harold,
It made sense though. Absolutely. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So the person then giving the compliment actually feels somewhat of an idiot, right? I just gave you a compliment that I loved your dress, and you just told me it was 25 years old that you bought for $5 at a used place.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm not very swift at liking people's dresses, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you've
It's
just insulted me. So just take the compliment.
take it.
If I say great job, just say thank you, right? So don't. You gave a perfect example earlier, Amy, when we were talking about this. If I said to you, great job, I love the magazine. I mean, I do. I love the magazine so much. It's a great job.
Yes. And you want me to do what I used to do?
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay. I mean,
Okay.
I find it difficult not to do it. I am saying thank you in the beginning now, just as a response to that. And then after that, after I've absorbed the compliment, then I will say, this is a collaborative effort between many people. But, thank you for acknowledging me.
The founder. But what did you used to say? If I said, Amy, I love the magazine.
I'd say, "Oh my God, there's so many people, like, you shouldn't, I can't accept that." Like, I would just go on and on about all the other people that it took and all the help that I've received and, not even acknowledging the amount of time and effort it takes to put this thing out. I was devaluing that side of myself to technology wise, design wise, organizational wise, all of that stuff, and just giving it to everybody that wrote their articles that month and helped me design it.
Right. And
Mhm.
now you still give them the kudos, but you say thank you.
Yeah, I do. I say thank you.
Awesome.
Yes. I'm really working on this one, just saying thank you. Sometimes I have to put my hand over my mouth to not keep going on as a reminder, but I'm getting better at it.
Good. Well, it takes time. Hey, it took, I'm not going to say how old we are. Collectively, we could be over a century. But,
You
anyways,
can say how old we're timeless.
we are timeless and we're very wise and we have a lot
Yes,
of wisdom.
exactly.
It took years and years and years to instill this unworthiness feeling in most people.
Mhm.
So, if you want to get rid of it quickly, hypnosis with a hypnotherapist will get rid of it instantly. You will remove this feeling of unworthy. If you can't, or you don't want to, or you want to do it on your own, there are ways to reprogram your mind. Even after you've worked with a hypnotherapist, you're still going to practice these things when people give you a compliment, like you're so organized. Don't go, oh yeah, well, it took me 10 years to figure that out. Thank you. Yes, I am organized.
Mhm.
Feels much better. Just the energy, as you said, even when you're accepting thing, the energy back and forth is there.
Mhm.
So as I said, but to be able to remove it instantly, quantumly through quantum hypnosis or through hypnosis is an amazing thing. Because
Well,
once,
you are our on-staff hypnotherapist.
yes, I am.
At That's because United Colors of Design has an on-staff hypnotherapist, which I think if you're big enough, or even if you're not big enough, you should have an on-staff hypnotherapist.
Yes, should.
And we have done work around some other things but this is the work on compliments and the worthiness. There's multiple layers to it. So working through the thank you layer, and then there's a whole bunch of other layers that are being worked through on that one. But at least the being taking your hypnosis sessions on worthiness is at stage one, which is the acknowledgement and understanding and being conscious and all that stuff.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. And sometimes, like I said before, you might not be able to be conscious of it. There are things that may have happened, very small things that may have happened to help install this belief where
Mhm.
you decided you were unworthy, and you may not even be conscious of it.
Mhm. Yeah, exactamundo.
Yeah.
Well, I think for those watching, replay or live at the moment, I suggest that you practice for the next 24 hours, just saying thank you. And if you have to put your hand over your mouth to stop yourself from deflecting the thank you, do it.
Agreed.
Agreed.
It will
Okay.
feel different.
It does. It really does feel different.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're on step 6, which is do steps 1, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5 again every day.
Exactly.
Again, it's repetition. And if you want to remove this feeling and find out what's possible, let's get with it, right? Let's do it. Let's do it together.
Hmm.
So get support too, because you often may need someone else to cheer you on. We all need a cheerleader. So
Yeah.
get support. And if you want to try hypnosis, which it's so incredible. Well, Amy, you've done a couple of sessions, and things are different afterwards,
Hmm.
I believe. So
Yeah, no, 100% they're different.
yeah.
And I sat in on a Zoom with you and your last class attendees,
Yes.
and I sort of popped in unexpectedly. I don't know why I popped in, but anyway, I asked them all what things were happening after going through the session with you, and they were saying stuff like pain is eliminated.
Yeah.
And I
Incredible.
I have my I have set clear boundaries for myself, and I am a manifesting genius. And these are the kinds of compliments that you were receiving in the form of sort of testimonials from these people that had just gone through your last session, which I have done your session. I did one a few years ago, and I'm going to do your next one in January. But it was so cool to hear what people have overcome by going through the workshop with you.
It was so incredible, Amy. This last group, especially, every single group has manifested something.
Hmm.
This group has manifested and has changed. Like, people set out a goal at the beginning of the 8 weeks, and 90% of them had met their goal. Like, one of them wanted to be promoted. They were promoted. The woman with chronic pain, she's fibromyalgia, and she had chronic pain 9 weeks ago now when I met her. And she didn't even just say it to me. She told you and the rest of the group her pain is gone
Hmm.
because she did the work and went through the 8 weeks of redesigning her life.
Hmm.
Another person manifested a free trip to the Cayman Islands because a friend of hers had extra money and said, "Hey, come for 3 weeks to the Cayman Islands for Christmas."
Amazing.
Like, it's incredible. And just the self-confidence that people have increased, and the sense of community,
Yes. I
because
mean, yes, their voices were, I don't know what their voices were at the beginning, but listening to their voices at the end, I can feel that they're different. I can feel that they were completely different by the words they chose to use to describe what they used to be, but also just their smiles and uh, their movements when they were talking, like very, very transformational. It seems what you took them on, what the path that you took them on. So I just put up your website here because there is a tab on your website for your next session, right?
yes, and
Mhm.
it's coming up in January. It's 8 weeks. It says redesign your life in 30 days, but we've put it to 8 weeks to really solidify people in changing their lives.
Mhm.
And we go through a quantum hypnosis every week to solidify what we learned about. We remove limiting beliefs. We just look at possibilities for people, and they dream. And those dreams come true. And some of them came true right in the 8 weeks. And and someone said in 6 months from now, blah, 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 blah. And at week 7, they're like, guess what? I said 6 months from now, but it happened within 7 weeks.
So you teach people how to bend time then as well.
Basically,
Yeah, nice.
once you remove all of these negative thoughts and understand where the limiting beliefs are coming from. One woman, I will just say fairly quickly, one woman was told by her grandma when she was little that she couldn't sing when she was about 6.
Oh,
And her grandma was a beautiful woman. She said, I love my grandma so much. But one day she just said, you know what? Maybe you don't want to sing. And that landed in her subconscious mind,
I can just,
right?
yes.
This woman is over 60 and released that belief during our course. And because that belief, not that she wanted to be a singer,
Mhm.
stopped her from speaking her mind
Yeah. Yeah.
at work, at home, in her relationships with her children.
Yeah.
Wow. And then once it came to her conscious awareness, she's like, that ruled my life. Because
Wow.
our beliefs are the lens that we look at life through. So she believed she wasn't worthy of voicing anything because she planted that seed, and then everything else that came along about, oh, you have to be quiet now or whatever it was, watered that seed, and it
Mhm.
grew into a massive tree.
Yeah.
So she wasn't able to speak up at work.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's amazing the little things that get implanted, and you're at 60 she's discovered it. Well, thank God at 60 she discovered it, because
Right.
if she didn't, she'd go to her grave thinking this same thing: I can't sing, I can't speak, I don't have the right, I'm not worthy enough to do that. And God
Right.
bless our grandparents, honestly, and our parents, because if it weren't for them, people like coaches and hypnotherapists and like all therapists would have
That's
no
right. Wouldn't have a job.
job.
That's true. But it's amazing when the people go back and they're like, that's when it happened. And it's not true. We try on these things that are not ours.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Well, I had an art teacher tell me, but not, I can't remember she told me to my face, but definitely her remarks about my work in art class, and the marks that I got, and the spotlight she was putting on so many other people and not me. And so I had this feeling like I suck at art and I can't do that for a living. And then, thank God, the little Macintosh came out, which became my tool, which allowed me to do that. But there's still there was still a bit in there that said you can't make a living being an artist because your art teacher said you sucked, and doing this on the computer really isn't art because you're not using your hands and painting a realistic looking person's face.
Right.
So there could still be a little bit of that left in there as far as like charging what you're worth, but I'll tell you that 62,000 hours just kick that right on out of my brain
Yeah.
right
And
now.
double that. Double that.
Double that.
Only double that because of all the learnings that you've had.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Oh
Yeah.
my
You didn't
God.
just work 8 hours a day for 5 hours, I mean, 8 hours a day for 5 days.
No, I didn't.
No,
I did
you
not.
did
I
not.
did put other stuff in there. So,
Yeah.
yes.
Incredible.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much, Samantha.
Thank you, Amy.
You are a brilliant wonder.
So are you.
You
Thank you.
you
Oh,
just
I forgot to say thank you for the compliment. Thank you.
That was a test. Oh my God. It's a constant work in progress. That's
It
what
is.
you need to understand. Because
It is. You can't
you know,
stop.
I
It
know
has to be.
50, how old am I? 53 this year. 53 years of deprogramming we have to do. And
Yeah.
so it's a natural response that has to just be kicked on out of the picture.
Yes. And like I said, you can do that so much faster with a one-to-one hypnosis session, or you can just get some clarity with a free call to me. And you just go onto my website and book a free call. It's absolutely free. And I'm really not, as you know, Amy, I'm not like pressuring people. I just want people to be happy.
Yeah.
That's
No,
it.
I mean, absolutely, yes.
So get your free call and then find out,
Get the free call, and you also do the free quarterly hypnosis sessions.
Yes.
You can give it a go.
Yes.
That's amazing. Okay. Thank you so much, Sam. I really, really enjoyed this. I hope other creatives get it. I hope they can see that the unworthiness is actually stopping success and allowing you to generate an abundance doing what you love, which is your ability to create things that people can't create.
Right.
Looking forward to our chat next quarter.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you with our next columnist.
Who's next? Who's the next columnist?
The next one would be Whitney.
Perfect.
Yes.
I will attend. I will watch. Thank you, Amy.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.